What's up guys, welcome to Sony Gaming. Today we're going to be checking out what may well be one of the hardest bosses we've come across in a Soulslike, and that is Bayle the Dread, a somewhat secret side boss of the Shadow of the Erdtree DLC for Elden Ring. Bayle has a pretty varied moveset, but it can be quite predictable. The real challenge is his sheer size, which means that most of the time you can't even see what he's doing, and locking onto Bayle is damn near impossible for combat. Add to that some truly devastating damage, tons of health, and a lot of resistances, and you've got a tough fight. So, before we get into how to beat Bayle the Dread, let's take a look at what you can expect from the fight. In Phase 1, Bayle has 3 different fire breath attacks. He can breathe fire in a long range stream, which can either track you, or fire in the direction that you are running. Just keep dodging to the side for that one. Next we have the side sweep that covers a long range and must be dodged through to avoid. And finally we have the AoE fire breath downwards, which is used when you are messing around beneath him. This doesn't spread far, but can be a surprise if you aren't paying attention. Bayle the Dread can attack with sweeps from his wings, usually in twos, often followed by either a lightning slam down in front of him or fire breath down below him. These are easy enough to see coming and dodge. Be warned that if you are beneath him, the wing slams won't hit you, but his body will when he does them, dealing still pretty high damage. Bayle can also attack with bites from side to side if you're standing in front of him. These go out faster than the wing slams, but are quite predictable since pretty much every dragon does this, so you should be used to it by now. If Bayle looks like he's charging up with lightning coming from his mouth, you need to time your dodge well. He is about to perform a lunging grab attack that will very likely kill you. It's quite easy to avoid when you know the timing. Bayle can lunge forwards after a short wind up, dealing high damage. He'll often follow this up with a tail swipe that covers a really massive amount of the arena, and both of these attacks will need to be dodged. Be warned that Bayle can perform a rampaging combo of many of the attacks mentioned chained together, so make sure the coast really is cleared before you start trying to get an attack in. When you've put in all the work to get Bayle to Phase 2, it's likely that you'll just get demolished straight away at least a few times until you figure out how he transitions between the two phases. The first thing is to get well away, as he is about to explode, covering a wide area. Then Bayle will fly into the air and it's time for you to run. As he flies, you'll see him leave projectiles in the air that will quickly fire at you. They are so far away that as long as you keep them in the middle of your screen and you run kind of sideways, they'll miss, and will also leave you in an appropriate place to avoid the one shot when Bayle crashes to the ground. So, in Phase 2, Bayle could do all the same things. Some of his attacks, such as the lightning slam, may be doubled up to throw you off, and come with extra AoE lightning strikes or magma pools that you need to get out of very quickly before they explode. Bayle can do a similar thing to Placidusax, where he covers a very wide area with magma, which will explode twice after a delay. If you see this coming, it's time to get running and dodge the blasts, if you don't get past to the edge fast enough. If Bayle flies into the air, you need to pay attention. He can perform a 3-part combo which has him breathe fire that sweeps across the whole arena in a wave and needs dodged through. Then another sweep will come from the other direction, and that sweep will leave a damaging area on the floor that will explode after a delay. You can dodge the first 2 sweeps and sprint to the edge to get out of the final blast. Bayle may instead crash down at your location when he flies into the air, following up with some nasty area damage that will explode after a delay. Make sure you dodge the slam and then get well away from the blast radius. On occasion, Bayle will let out a damaging roar, and then lightning will strike at your location for a while. Just keep moving and they will all miss, but be careful to avoid Bayle's other attacks while this is happening. So now that we know what Bayle the Dread can do, let's check out what you can do about it. The first thing that I really strongly recommend is using a weapon with Bloodhound's Step on it. This will make avoiding some of Bayle's really horrible hits quite easy, especially the lightning strikes, and it was essential for me getting through this. I also recommend using some sort of Scarlet Rot. Bayle has a ridiculous amount of health and resistances, and this fight has so much room for error, so it's worth having some damage ticking away passively while you focus on staying alive. I use the Rotten Breath incantation, but throwing pots, arrows or weapons will do the trick. In another run, I did the job with an ant spur rapier. Next, you need to know where is safest for you to deal damage. Bayle's left leg is off, leaving a bloody stump, and this is a good spot for poise breaking to allow for a critical hit. The other leg is also a good spot for avoiding most of Bayle's damage. The main thing you need to think about in these spots is the AoE fire breath downwards. Hit and run tactics work here. Get in, get a hit, and get out before the fire comes. His tail is also a good spot for the same reasons. It can be tempting to try to boost your damage as much as possible, but this is a marathon, not a sprint. I stacked the Bolt Drake Talisman +3, the Flame Drake Talisman +3, and the Dragon Crest Great Shield Talisman, since Bayle deals a mixture of lightning, fire, and physical damage. This allowed me to survive some of his harder hits. Unfortunately, it takes a lot of effort to apply bleed to Bayle, but it can be some free damage if you can really stack it up. Maybe if you use a weapon with bleed and you also have the Mimic summon. So to summarize, make sure that you stack up your resistances as far as you are able. Make sure you're standing at Bayle's legs or tail when you attack, and try to apply some status effects to help with your damage. Don't rush this fight or you will die, especially in phase 2. Most of your time will be spent running around avoiding Bayle's really devastating attacks, which is why passive damage works best. Thanks for watching, guys. If this video helps, then go ahead and hit those like and subscribe buttons and drop your thoughts in the comments section below. Take care and, as always, have fun.